Okay, we're just short at 1237.50, and no blue professional bars yet on the 1500 tip bar chart, which is normally my kind of signal to start seeing what the professionals are up to. We had a nice little kind of pop, 2-point pop from 37 to 39 just at the open, which was kind of nicely set up on the 500 tip bar chart with a flush signal prior to the open, bullish divergence and professional blue bars down here at the lows kind of coming in. But coming into this turning point, you can see it was kind of being led by the amateurs, a couple of Rambo bars, Rambo profit patterns here up at 39, kind of rolled over. So I'm hoping that the cyclical turn we've just seen on the 1500 tip bar chart is going to run a little bit, but normally I don't like entering before we get some kind of blue professional bar coming on the 1500 tip bar chart. So clearly the professionals aren't kind of active yet, so we're short at 37.50. Okay, just a few minutes later, and we're kind of finding it difficult to kind of break down. We're short at 37.50. We just had this blue professional bar kind of come through support level here, and we just got it on the 1500 tip bar chart. You can see kind of down there. Another blue professional bar kind of coming on the 500 tip bar chart. It's always, here where we're at support for the day. 36.50 was kind of the low previously. You get a move like this, there's always a potential that this is a falling through the ice or a jumping the creek kind of trade. It means the professionals are kind of getting, have taken positions just in front of a breakout of a range here. So, what we need is kind of confirmation. We don't really have that. We haven't kind of broken swiftly to, kind of 1236 and beyond on the downside, but, potentially we could get that kind of in. Otherwise, we've got a cyclical support kind of coming up on the 1500 tip bar chart. So we could be finding some kind of bottom here. So it's kind of 50-50 at this stage, and really have to wait and see what happens. Okay, this is just a couple of minutes later, and these blue professional bars kind of came in on all the time frames, 500, 1500 and the 4500 tip bar chart, just as we're coming into kind of cyclical support areas here, and you can see you've had one form on the 1500 tip bar chart. So all of a sudden, this doesn't look like kind of falling through the ice. This looks like kind of professionals kind of coming in here. But I'm still holding short at 37.50 because coming into a cyclical turn here on the 500 tip bar chart, and we just had a Rambo pattern and kind of amateur bars up here at the highs. So this is amateurs kind of getting into an up move a fraction too early. And what I'm going to play is that this will have another test of kind of the 36 type level on this downswing on the 500 tip bar chart. Although everything's kind of suggesting to go the other way. We've now had our trifecta form on the 1500 tip bar chart. Blue professional down bars into a cyclical support level with bullish divergence, and the market's kind of strengthening. So all I'm trying to get is maybe a point on the downside here and kind of reverse and go long. So but if this thing kind of starts shooting past past 38, I'm going to be out and reversing then. Okay, so that didn't work out. So just reversed and went long at 38.25. This little kind of push down didn't happen, and we've had these kind of blue professional bars kind of come in, which shows a little bit of weakness at the highs here, frankly. But we've now got cyclical support on the 4500 tip bar chart. This is a proper kind of signal here on 1500 tip bar chart. I suppose if I wasn't short at that time, I'd have reversed anyway and gone long at 37 here. So yeah, 3/4 point loss on the first trade, and hoping this kind of breaks into an uptrend and we see new highs or new highs for the day on this move. Okay, just a few minutes later we've broken up to 1239. 1239 was the previous high for the day. You can see here on the 1500 tip bar chart, this level up here. Oops, it's kind of showing a whole lot of junk on my charts. Anyway, 39 was this kind of level here. So we've just had just a point retrace back down to 38 in the last couple of minutes, and I suppose you'd always find that with kind of retesting a highs. There's always going to be people kind of that's usually a good trade. That assuming that the market kind of trades within some kind of a channel to start with. What I'm hoping though for is a breakout into an uptrend. We're kind of holding above this cyclical resistance level here on the 500 tip bar chart. We're due for a cyclical kind of resistance level on the 1500 tip bar chart. A little bit of bearish divergence, a little bit of weakness here. But you know, no professional blue bars up here on the highs on the 1500, so we have to go with the last kind of previous signal, which is showing that professionals were buying into this low at 35.50. So still holding and back to entry point, and I did really buy a little bit of a breakout here. I was kind of getting out on a loss on my first trade and just reversing and going long. Sometimes you get lucky and the market kind of just takes off. I suppose what I'm trying to say is I was buying a breakout, and the reason why I bought that breakout is sometimes when the Emini gets going, it gets going really fast, and there are just no opportunities to enter on a pullback. So, you know, you could have been waiting around, having exited your short trade, waiting for that perfect kind of long entry, and the thing just blasts off, and you never get an opportunity to get on board that move. I suppose just in the past that's just happened to me too many times. I'd rather be seen to be buying a breakout, but having some kind of confidence that, you know, I've got the trend direction right, and it'll work out, rather than kind of waiting for that kind of perfect pullback. So anyway, we're back up at you know, kind of 38.5, still testing the highs on this last kind of push down professional bar. Difficult to say whether that was kind of a down bar or an up bar. I'd suggest that that's kind of a little bit of weakness we saw, and the professionals kind of jumped on board, but we won't know until we get a break above the high of, you know, a half point is a nice break above the high. So fingers crossed, this one's going to work. Okay, I just came out at 40.25 for 2 points, and we got the break kind of up into 39. The reason for getting out is end of trend warning signal here on the 500 tip bar chart. Exhaustion buying volume up here. A little Rambo pattern, this kind of printed behind this cyclical turning point here. Just showing that this last kind of push up is being led by the amateurs here. Some professional blue bars kind of at the highs up here. So I expect this little kind of you know, push up to 41 to kind of fail, come back down, kind of have a little bit of a you know, another go at the highs. But there we go, out of this trade here, and let's see if we can get a little bit of a decent re-entry. Okay, just gone short of 39.75, and the reason for taking this trade is kind of gone nowhere in the last 15 minutes or so. Whole series of kind of amateur bars here in this kind of congestion zone. Very difficult to tell whether that's kind of amateur buying or selling when we're kind of not making any kind of new highs or new lows, just in that kind of congestion zone. But this is now a second cyclical turn after end of trend warning signal. So here's the end of trend warning signal here on the 500 tip bar chart. Second cyclical turns often kind of start a kind of new trend moves. This is a coinciding with kind of a cyclical turn on the 4500 tip bar chart. Professional blue up bars up here. I suppose would have liked to have seen a little bit more kind of you know, exhaustion volume on the 4500 tip bar chart. But if we get a break below this kind of low of this kind of channel, it'll run a couple of points until we get kind of some kind of support coming in on the 1500 tip bar chart. So that's what I'm hoping for. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's a few minutes later, and we kind of come into this cyclical turn here on the 1500 tip bar chart. You can see the 500 tip bar chart. We did have some bullish divergence kind of patterns here. Professionals down at the lows. We kind of took off a little bit and came back to my entry point, but decided to hold short at this point because although we got bullish divergence on 1500 tip bar chart and a cyclical turn kind of approaching, we've not seen any blue professional bars, and so I kind of go with the last kind of blue set of blue professional bars on that time frame to give me a sense of where the professionals are kind of entering in. I don't think you know, the downtrend is going to last a lot longer, so I am looking for kind of a down bar, blue professional down bar, to signal somewhere to kind of get out on this move. So let's see how far this kind of move progresses down before we get another bounce. Okay, I just came out at 38.75 for a point, and the reason for getting out at this stage is we've got another blue professional bar on the 1500 tip bar chart here, coming into a cyclical turning point. We'd have all of these kind of bullish divergence signals here, this whole kind of series of blue professional bars kind of down here at the lows here. So I don't know if the market's going to go into another kind of rally phase. Um, but what is that? That's 2.25 points from the three trades. A losing trade's 3/4 of the point, 2-point trade and a 1-point trade. So I'm going to stop there. It's FOMC this afternoon, and it's just gone 10:15 in the morning. So usually the market gets pretty quiet, and I don't think we're going to see kind of a setup until this afternoon. So or a decent trend move until this afternoon. So that's what I'm going to do for now. Okay, we're just short at 40.75. Just checking my stops and targets. The market's moving really fast. Just at FOMC a couple of minutes ago. It's 1:22 Chicago time. The reason for going short is this last kind of push back up into 42 was being led by the amateurs here, and so that's kind of a weak kind of push back up, and then we had exhaustion buying at this point here, and we've had a whole series of kind of bearish divergent signals up at these kind of highs here all morning and all afternoon. So just hoping that we're going to get a little bit of downdraft, break a kind of support area. Not a kind of classic setup here, just because don't have a lot of signals from better pro-am on professional bars. That tends to happen with a lot of kind of Fed announcements for the first 20 minutes or so. Not very many kind of professional bars, just because there's a lot of, well, I think, kind of mid-range type activity rather than professional or amateur activity. Okay, I'm just out at 38.75 for 2 points, but it should have been easier than this. So my entry was just after these yellow amateur up bars into this turning point here, and then this is what I typically use. Well, one of the reasons I typically use to get out is a blue professional bar with exhaustion signals here on better momentum. That usually shows a short-term kind of area where we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. I was just looking for 2 points, and so I had my profit target at 38.75, and we were a 1/4 point away from it here, and then the market bounced all the way back to entry point, and plus took 1/2 point of heat on the trade as well. So that's not good. But I'm kind of stubborn. I should have, as soon as I see this kind of just get out, I'd have had a point in my pocket and just be done with it there. But I didn't. I kind of wrote it up. Now, for whatever reason, I chose to kind of hold, hoping it would kind of go back down. This yellow bar here, this amateur bar, wasn't a great deal of help in terms of signaling what the market was going to do. But as soon as we kind of had that little combination with the turning point and the bearish divergence signal, that kind of gave me some confidence that we're going to go back down. So eventually hit the 38.75. It's kind of keeping on going now, which is extraordinary now that kind of the trend is kind of determined. And so that's just another 2 points at the end of the day. 1, 2, 3, 4 trades today. Made 2.25 in the morning and then 2 in the afternoon, so that's 4.25 for the day. This has been nice to kind of hold through here and get an extra point here, but that's the way the market is. Hope your trading went well today. Okay, so we're just coming up to a few minutes before the close. Just wanted to kind of revisit what happened at the end of the day, just to point out, one of my kind of consistent mistakes is just getting out way too early. The trade I took at the end was a short trade, kind of coming up into this little retest of 42 up at this level here. You can see on the 500 tip bar chart that was being led by the amateurs with these amateur yellow up bars at this point, which to me kind of showed that there was kind of a weakness at this turning point. We were likely to kind of reverse and go down, so which we did, and so I kind of got short at 40.75 just here. And I was just looking for a couple of points, and this would have been the perfect exit here when we had exhaustion and professional bars kind of come in. But then when I was kind of re-holding through this kind of test back to my entry level, there was a better kind of exit kind of later on down at 37 down here, where we saw kind of Rambo patterns, bullish divergence and so on. So it was a little bit more in it, but this was a really nice entry just a little bit later on. So I'll just kind of move these tip bar charts on. You can see here cyclical turning point on the 1500 tip bar chart. We already know that there's kind of weakness in the market. Coming up to this cyclical turning point, we've got extremely weak buying with a couple of bearish divergence signals right up here. Look at all these blue professional bars kind of coming into this turning point here.